Hello, everybody. Welcome to another live stream here on Woo English. As always, I am Hamza and I will be your host as always. And today we are going to talk about someone who just passed away or left the world recently, which is Pope Francis, which was the late Pope of like the Christian Church. So today we thought that it would be a very nice thing if we could commemorate this person, remember him for all the good he was doing throughout his life, so that we can remember him and see something about his life. So, without further ado, let's start. But before, I want to see who is here with us. So, if you are here, please make sure to say hi and let us know that you are here, that you are with us. And before we start, I'm gonna, of course, show a little picture here on the screen so that like people uh, can know who we are talking about. So give me a sec just to pull the pictures up. Yeah, all right. So this is Pope Francis that we are talking about today. And he was, of course, when we talk about a pope, do you guys know what we mean by a pope in English? A pope. Wait, let me pull the pictures. So do you know what we mean by a pope in English? What is a pope? So he was a pope. He was the pope for Christians, and he died recently. Of course, the guy was very famous because people all over the world were saddened. You know, they're saddened. So to be saddened by something is to feel sad because of something that happened. So a lot of people were saddened by his passing. Uh, so of course we understand that the man was absolutely like very influential and he had some effect on the world. And I want to know what you guys already know about the man. So what is a pope if you know? What does that mean? In your opinion, or from what you guys know? Do you know about him first, right? You know about this guy, Pope Francis. I am getting no answers today. I'm getting crickets today again. No answers. All right. Okay. Let's see what you guys know about the men. Pope Francis. So Pope basically is the highest ranking person in Christianity. Like I'm talking about the clergy, meaning religious people, right? Or people of religion. So a pope is the highest ranking person of them all. I just close some windows because my laptop is absolutely screaming now. Yeah, so as I said, Pope Francis or Pope, a Pope in general, is the highest ranking person or religious person in Christianity. When it comes to Christianity, we have a lot of religious people. Like in Islam, for example, we have an imam, etc. So or a scholar. But in Christianity, we have a lot of levels. So we have priests, for example. We have clergymen. We have like a lot of ranks, and the highest of them all is a pope. So the pope is like goes to all the Christian people. So we're gonna get to know the person through a little quiz that we always like to start with, and the first quiz goes as follows: what country is Pope Francis from? So this is a pope that passed away recently. And by the way, this is an expression that I want to share with you guys. In English, we say, I see that my image is a little bit cutting. Uh, Pope Francis. Can someone tell me what do we mean by the word late in sentences like the one I'm going to share on the screen? The late Pope Francis, I think he was the second or something. So the late Pope Francis. What do we mean by the late in sentences like this? Because this is something you will hear a lot these days. You will hear the death of Pope of late Pope Francis, etc. So what does the word late mean here? Of course, the word late has a lot of words or a lot of meanings, but this one meaning is quite a special one. So does anyone know what that means? Late something. We say the late and then we write the name of the person. But what does that mean, that word late here? Are you guys able to comment or just like very sleepy today? So what does the word late in the sentence I shared here mean? The late Pope Francis. What does the word late mean here? Hogar, it is not early. That's one. That's one meaning. For example, today I woke up late. Or Mr. Bob came late to work. He came late to work, meaning he did not come on time. Or like Mr. Hogar said, he came not early. He did not come early. That's one meaning. But here it has another meaning. Here in sentences like this, it has a different meaning. Does anyone here know it? I would love to have another guess. Someone to give another guess. What does the word late in the late Pope Francis mean? It's quite an interesting meaning, by the way. All right, I'm gonna reveal. So the word late in the late Pope Francis means someone who died, who passed away recently. Right? He just passed away recently. So we say the late Pope something, right? Or we can also say, for example, the late Queen Elizabeth, because she did not die a long time ago. I think she died like 2 years ago, Elizabeth. Of England, of course. So we can say the late Queen Elizabeth, all right? So late, when we add it in front of a name of someone, especially someone who is famous, we mean that that person passed away, he died, he is not longer alive, and he did not die a long time ago. So that's what we mean by late Pope Francis. So as I said today, we will have a listening activity, and it will be about this gentleman because we thought in Wu English that this person deserves some recognition because he was a very humanitarian person. He had like very very humane opinions, very humane ideas. He advocated for peace, and I one of the things that I absolutely loved about him is that he always stood by the Palestinian cause. So he was always against oppression. He was against wars, and he was against colonialism, of course. So this is one of the things that we really appreciate this person. All right, so we're gonna go to the first quiz about this gentleman that we are talking about today, late Pope Francis, and the first question goes as follows: what country was he from? So we have a pope, and he is the pope of all the Christians. So where was he from? What was his original country? So what was his original country? Let me see. Is it Brazil, Argentina, Italy, or Mexico? Where was he from originally? If you know, of course, if you know, please share with me your answer. If you don't know, you can always have a guess and tell us what you think is the right answer. Argentina. Pamela is here. Hey, Pamela, how are you? Pamela, it's been a while since I last saw you on our lives. Yeah, I'm good. How are you, Pamela? Mexico, I know it's wrong. Maybe, yeah, so it's okay. Argentina, all right, wonderful. Argentina, absolutely. By the way, what do you guys know about this guy? So, because this is the man we are talking about today, the late Pope Francis. Late here means someone who died recently, who was deceased recently. What do you know about the guy? What do you think about him? As I said, for me, I think he is a great person. Maybe we don't share the same religion, but that's okay. But we definitely share some ideas because the man was very humanitarian. He was like absolutely humanitarian. And I really like that about him. Let's see the next question. What is the Pope's main job? Because we have a lot of like a lot of levels, as I said, in Christianity, and the highest rank is a Pope. But what is the job of a Pope in Christianity? Let me see if I can pull a picture and show you the different levels of um, Christian clergy or clergymen, as they call them. Uh, all right, see, lead the church. All right, to lead the church. What about the rest of you guys? What do you think is the job of a pope, a Christian pope? Because as I said, for example, I'm gonna tell you something about Islam. Because in Islam, for example, we have the imam. The main job of an imam is to lead prayers, all right, to lead prayers. But an imam can also like tell people about religion or speak during on Fridays, things like that. So, what is the job of a pope? I'm looking. Yes, I think this one is very good one. So I'm gonna take this picture from Reddit app. Apparently, I'm gonna show it to you before we go on. So I'm gonna show you this picture. So this is a picture of like some the hierarchy or the levels. All right. So these are the hierarchy or the levels of people of religious people in Christianity. So in the bottom we have friars, monks, and nuns. These are the people who just serve churches basically. Above them we have superior and convent and monasteries. Then we have priests. Priests are the people who speak, who make speeches on in churches. We have abbots. We have bishops who are higher than priests. I think priests, bishops are the most famous ones. And then we have what we call a pope. So the pope is the highest rank in Christian clergymen. And as I said, of course, we are not just sharing because he was Christian, we're sharing because he was a human being, right? He was a nice human being. He was someone who cared about the others. Lead the church. So let's check. Yes, absolutely. Lead the church. And by church, we meaning the system of churches, right? Not just like leading prayers, like lead the church, like the actual Christians. What does the Jesuits focus on? Jesuits are basically people who like servants of Jesus, and we are gonna see them later on in today's listening. Help the poor, own churches, become popes, build schools. What do these people do? Yeah, so the Jesuits. Let me just check very quickly. Yeah, it's a society of Jesus, basically. I'm just need to check the pronunciation because I'm not sure about it. Jesuits. All right, Jesuit. All right, Jesuit. Because I was pronouncing it correctly. Jesuit. Yeah, all right. I was pronouncing it wrong. You're guessing about it. All right. I'm gonna reveal probably the answer. So, of course, it's helping the poor. Basically, they focus on helping the poor. Which of these is a value Pope Francis, the man we're talking about today, supports? Wealth, power, simplicity, or fame? Fame is basically to be famous. Is if you are famous, you have a lot of fame. So, what is the value that he supported. And today, by the way, I'm going to focus, yes. All right. So, Pamela, the previous one, helping the poor. Very good one. Yes, very good guess. You got it correct. I just like revealed probably before you shared your answer. B for Holger. I think you are talking about the previous one, if I'm not mistaken. B for this one. Power. Does he believe in power? That he should hold power and be powerful person? Is that what Pope Francis believed in? Yes, all right. Or are you talking about this one? I'm going to give you a little bit of time. Maybe you are a little bit late. So if you guys, if you are watching, please make sure to scroll till the end of the live stream so that you are watching it live and you are not falling behind, right, in watch time. Please make sure to scroll until the end. And please don't forget to click that like button. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe. I'm just going to wait for everybody to share their ideas in the chat. But meanwhile, I just want to remind you that Woo English is a channel that we dedicate for you guys to learn English through meaningful stories. As I said, our stories are not just like fictional ones. Today, we are looking at the story of a great man that we believe had a lot of effects on the world. Maybe we disagree with him on religious ideas, but we do absolutely support his humanitarian ideas, right? Religion is a freedom. You can believe in whatever you like, but we always appreciate it when someone is a humanitarian, is who shows or who believes in humans, in people, and that's what we absolutely like at English. So he believed always in simplicity. Actually, this man, this Pope Francis, always believed in simplicity. Right? He always supported and believed in simplicity. Last one. What does the way of the cross? And by the way, this is something we are gonna see in the listening today. I'm just like preparing you, right? What, in your opinion, what does this expression way of the cross mean? The church path, suffering only, following Jesus, or old tradition. You know what is a cross? So a cross is that like there is a plank like this and plank like this, and they crucify someone on them. That's the thing that Christians will hang on their necks. That's what we call a cross. Answers are here. Thumbs up, please. Thank you so much, Pamela. I absolutely appreciate you and appreciate you being here, of course. Yes, so we believe, as I said, that if you want to learn English well, if you want to improve your English, you should expose yourself to it. And we are going to expose you to some English today through the story of Pope Francis, the late Pope who recently passed away. And we are asking you questions in preparation. This question, Pamela says, following Jesus, and you are absolutely correct. So the way of the cross simply means following the teachings, following the guidance of Jesus Christ. Wonderful. Now for some vocabulary, and today we are going to do it differently than what we do normally. Oopsie. Yeah, all right. I'm going to focus on this one. So the Jesuits live a life of discipline, study, and service. Now, what I want you to do, I have for you 5 words that are in bold, and I'm gonna mark them here. So we have discipline, heal, suffering, trust, and guide. What I want you to do, guys, I want you to give me one synonym for each word, or a word that is close to this word in meaning, right? So discipline, for example, give me any word that is close to meaning to discipline or close in meaning to discipline. Heal, give me one word that is close in meaning to heal. Maybe a synonym, maybe just a word that is related to it. Suffering, the same thing. Trust, and finally guide. You can pick any word you like. You can start with any word that you like. Trust, believe. That's one. Hoger says trust is to believe. Yes. Illness taught him to listen and to believe. Wonderful. If I change it, if I change trust with belief, the meaning of the sentence almost stays the same. So you did a fantastic job. Trust is to believe. If I trust you, I believe in you. If I trust God, I believe in God. So yeah. Guide, direct. Very good one, Pamela. Very good one. To guide someone is to direct someone. Yes. Mhm. So far, you guys found the synonyms of two words from the ones that are bold, the ones that I marked in red. So Hoger said, trust is to believe. And Pamela said, to guide someone is to direct someone. Let me see. Control, to guide is to control. To some extent, I absolutely agree with you. They are very similar in meaning. Uh, or do you think, are you talking about discipline or are you talking about guide for control? Ah, you are talking about discipline. All right. So discipline is control. Yes, absolutely. If you discipline yourself, you control yourself. And that's absolutely correct. All right. Any other word that you got? I think. All right. Okay. Healed, make well. Very good. To become well. Absolutely. I wanted to share another one. Yes, to become better or to be better. I'm gonna. So healed. Another word for healed is actually cured. If I say this doctor healed me, means that this doctor cured me. So this is a word, of course. So we are left with only one word, which is suffering. Can you find a word for suffering now? Suffering. There is a word that is related to suffering, I think. There is one. I'm just going to wait for you to find it. Suffering. Hurt. Very good. It's a word related to hurt also. It's pain. Let me see. Aches. Yes, ache or pain. Absolutely. So you found all the synonyms for the word. Struggling. Patricia, I think, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Let me just call you Rossi. Struggling. Suffering is struggling. I totally agree with you. To suffer is to struggle. If you are struggling, you will be suffering for sure. Yes, Patricia, where are you joining us from? All right, so I think it's time for our first listening for tonight because we are having two listenings, right? Two listenings today. The first listening will be one chapter, how Francis joined the church, and the second one, how did he become a priest or a pope. But before we do that, I'm gonna share with you three rules that we always in our listenings. Rule number one: listen carefully because we're gonna ask you some questions. Number two, if you don't understand any word, please make sure to ask me and I'm going to answer you in the chat. Number three, please make sure to like this video. And this I cannot emphasize enough. Kindly click that like button because that really helps us. Because when you like this video, it gets recommended to other people. We get more people here. We benefit, you benefit, other people also benefit. So please consider just clicking that like button. Of course, if you are new here, if you like our or you can stay until the end of this live stream. If you like our content, you can subscribe by the end of this live stream. So let me just go to the right. time. All right. So let me share with you the screen. This is the text we're going to be listening to.
Chapter 2.
All right.
The Call of the Cross.
And this is what we have seen, by the way. This is, we said, the teachings of Jesus Christ. Oh, let's go.
He was still young, but he knew. Jorge felt something deep inside. A voice, a pull, like a quiet fire in his heart. He looked around.
Of course. So just for people who maybe just joined, we're talking about Pope Francis, who recently died. And here, this is chapter number 2 that talks about him joining Christian, like the clergy.
At the world, so full of pain, noise, power, pride. And he thought, I want to live differently. So he made a choice. He joined the Jesuits, a special group in the Catholic Church, men who live with discipline, who study hard, and who serve the poor.
So this is the Jesuits, right? They serve the poor, right?
It was not a normal life. No money, no family, no big dreams, just service, just God. He gave up many things to find one true thing. But this path was not easy. Soon after joining, Jorge got very sick. He had a serious infection in his lungs. He could not breathe well. He had to go to the hospital. Doctors said, "We must remove part of your lung." He was in pain, weak, tired. But he did not complain. He prayed, he waited, he healed. Later, he said, "Illness taught me to be patient, to listen, to trust." He almost lost his life, but he found his strength. Years passed. Jorge studied philosophy, theology, history. He read late in
For people who probably don't know what is theology, theology is the study of religion, right? So, for example, greetings, classic boy, hello. So, for example, yes, he studied philosophy, theology, and history. For example, the study of like of like why this pen falls, that's called physics. The study of human beings or of living beings, that's called biology. And the study of religions, especially comparing religions to each other, that's what we call theology. Classic boy, where are you joining us from? Classic boy, welcome. All right, so let's continue our listening. I just wanted to explain the word theology for you guys. It's a
philosophy, theology, history. He read late into the night. He taught others by day, and he listened. He always listened to the stories of poor people, to the silence of prayer, to the cry of those no one else heard. Slowly, he became a leader, a guide. People trusted him. He became a priest, then a teacher, then a bishop. But he stayed the same man, humble.
All right, what do those words mean? So again, I'm sorry if I keep interrupting. I just want you to follow well. We're talking about this man. This is still the beginning. He was the Pope of Christianity. He was the Pope. But if you like this is a picture that we have seen before, because these are the words that you are hearing now. So in the beginning, he was a priest, right? He joined as a pupil, as a like student here, and then he became a priest, and then he became a bishop. It's a higher rank. So we are following his journey through Christianity, okay? So let's continue. Sorry if I keep interrupting again.
Quiet, kind. He didn't like big cars or special clothes. He wore black, simple shoes. He took the city bus. He walked through the streets. He visited the sick. He sat with prisoners. He blessed children in the poorest neighborhoods. He didn't need a microphone to speak. His eyes spoke. His hands spoke. His heart spoke. In every face, he looked for one thing, and he saw it again and again. Jesus, in the poor, in the broken, in the lost. God is here, he said, with the people. Not above them, with them. Some people didn't understand. They said, "Why spend time with the poor? They cannot help you." But Jorge answered, "They already help me. They teach me love." To him, faith was not just prayer or church. Faith was action. When someone was hungry, he gave them food. When someone was lonely, he gave them time. When someone made a mistake, he offered mercy. He spoke softly. But people listened because his words came from his life, not from a book, from the street, from the heart. One day, a man asked him, "Why do you do all this?" Jorge smiled and said, "Because this is the way of the cross." That man didn't understand, but Jorge did. He knew the cross was not only pain, it was also love. Not only death, but life. Not only hard, but holy. And that's the path he chose. The path of service, the path of truth, the path of hope, the path of the cross.
All right. So that was it for chapter 3 or chapter 2. We're gonna listen to chapter 3 in a moment. I see Hogar. Sorry, Hogar, I didn't check your message, man. I was so like into the text I was reading with you. So a bishop is basically a rank, another rank. Let me go back here. So we have a priest. I think priests, we all like seeing them in like churches and stuff. If you get higher in a rank, you get to a bigger church, like that is like more like it has more like higher level, and then your name is a bishop. So bishops are higher ranked priests, okay? And then above the bishops there are the pope. But I've heard somewhere, because I'm not a Christian, so I don't know very well these levels, but I know that there are actually a lot more levels, not just these ones that you have just seen. Okay, so I hope you were listening well, as I said before. So because I'm gonna ask you some questions, and let me share with you my screen. 1 second, please. Yeah, let's share this one, and let's do like this. Okay, wonderful. So we have followed the journey of this man. I'm gonna keep showing you his face, because his face, for me, he shouldn't be forgotten. This man, because he was so humanitarian, very nice, like attitude towards people, towards everybody, very peaceful man. I think he should be remembered. This guy. All right, so let's see if you guys were listening well by answering me if the following statements are true or are false. The first statement is as follows. George, oops, I didn't. Well, it's okay. All right. I'm gonna reveal the first one. I forgot to. Uh, all right, I forgot to animate it. So George joined the army. Of course, he did not join the army. He joined the Jesuits. We said the Jesuits are people who follow Jesus. They are a special Christian community whose job is to serve the poor. So let's see the next one. He got very sick. He got very sick. Is this true or is this false? Throughout his story, did he get sick? Of course, if you're listening well to the listening that we just had, you would be able to answer. And please stay there because we're going to have a second listening today because we will have two listenings today, right? Two listenings. If you can, please give me a second just to animate some stuff. I forgot to animate these two. All right. Yeah, true. Patricia says true, and Pamela says true. Perfect. All right. Let's see if you guys got it correct. Absolutely. He had a lung infection, if you remember. All right. Let me just do this. Do this. And yes, let's go back. Yes. All right. He was angry during his illness. When he became ill with a lung disease, something that affected his ability to breathe, he became very angry. Is that true or is that false? From what you guys were reading so far. What do you think? Let me take myself here in the bottom. All right. I like it here. It's very cozy. Whenever I'm here in the bottom, I like in this corner, I really like it here. And I think people are also like this. False. Patria says false. So how was he if he was not false? Pamela says the same. So we have a man who is sick and who joined the church, but he became sick. Normally, he should be very angry. False. Can you guys? So how did he feel if he did not feel angry? Let's check. He did not complain. All right. He just accepted his illness. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that was one of the reasons why he died recently, because he had a lot of like health complications recently. He lived a rich life. He was a rich guy. He was a very rich guy. Is that true? Pope Francis, and by the way, that's not his real name. His real name is Jorge. I think you've heard it repeated before. Pamela, is that your answer? Oh no, that's from the previous one. So I need to read for you. So Pope Francis, this man was a very rich man, or he lived a rich life at least. I don't care about how much he had in his bank account, but I'm talking about how did he live? How did he live? False. All right. True, says Pamela. He lived a rich life. Let's check. He lived simply, actually, Pamela. Maybe Pamela is talking about some of the things that were showed in media, probably. But the man lived a simple life. He visited prisoners. I mean, this is a pope, like a high-level priest. Like he was very high in like Christian clergy. Why would he go to a prison? So is this true? Is this false from the text we listened to? Were you guys true? Patricia says it's true. All right. So you believe that this is true. As I said again, we're gonna do two listenings. So we have already done the first. You can go with us through these answers, or through these questions. And then when we finish, we are gonna listen to the second time or to the other chapter, how he became a pope, and then you can, I think, like participate. What did I want to check? Pope. All right. So you guys say this is true. And by the way, I think he was rich, but he lived simply. Exactly. That's the most important thing. Because the question was, how did he live? Actually, he donated a lot of his money during his life. Yes, he sat with them. He absolutely sat with prisoners in prison. And actually, one of the most important, like one of the well, I'm going to show you some pictures. All right, give me 1 second. All right, this is a picture of him. This is a picture of the guy with some prisoners here. I think this is in the United States. So this is him with prisoners. So he used to visit a lot of prisons. And why did he do that? It's because to give some hope to people and to maybe help them turn their lives. Because if the Pope, the highest ranking person in your religion, visits you, that would mean a lot to you, probably, if you are a Christian, especially. All right, next question. Yeah, direct question. So, why did Jorge, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, choose this path? Jorge is his real name, right? His real name. For power, for God, for fame. Maybe for the three of them. A, B, C, or yeah, just three. All right, A, B, or C. So what do you guys think? Why do you think this man chose the path of God or chose the path of being a clergyman? Because I think one of the things is that these people don't get married, they don't have for fame. All right. Interesting answer, Pamela, for fame. B. All right. Let's check which one. Is it C or B? It is B indeed. For God, not for fame, Pamela. What did he study? Theology, medicine, or law? The answer, I've explained it before during the listening. I've explained it so well. What did he choose or what did he study? Was it theology, medicine, or law? Pamela is making fun of us today. A, theology. Let me see what Patricia would say. But Patricia or Patrizia? Because I hope I'm not like mispronouncing your name. Or I'm gonna just pronounce like call you Rossi. I think that's easier to pronounce. Rossi. All right. Yes, it's theology. We said theology is the study of religion, especially comparative religion. What did he give people? Orders, time, money. Patrizia. All right. Thank you for correcting. Thank you for correcting, Patrizia. C, money. All right. Well, maybe he gave people money, but he gave them time as well. How did he speak? He spoke loudly, he spoke politely, he spoke softly with people. Whenever he was talking to people, how did he speak to them? We're talking about this man for people who are just joining, because sometimes people would come but they don't know who are we talking about. So we're talking about this man, the late Pope who just passed away. And I'm very interested, by the way, in seeing what is the process by which they choose another Pope. I really want to see this. And we're gonna like witness how a new Pope is selected. B and C. Yeah, Italy. All right. All right. Yes, softly, but politely as well, of course. Where did he find Jesus? All right, in church, in poor, in books. But I totally agree with you guys. Patricia, are you you're from Italy? Okay. What are the other people? I see a lot of people watching, but I don't see anyone like interacting with us today. I see about 14 people watching from YouTube. All right, nice to see you. I think you are the third person who interacts with us from no, the fourth, I think. There are other people from Italy. I'm sure they are here on the live stream. They just don't like to engage. A, in church. All right. He also found them in the poor, in poor people. And that's why he used to visit the poor people a lot, because he saw in the Jesus, he saw it's like Jesus was guiding him to these people so that he can help them. Believe it or not, we are having a second listening today. We are going to listen to another chapter. So I hope people are still here. Wonderful. So I have a lot of people here. So please stay there. We are going to listen to another chapter in the life of this man, and we're going to answer a very important question. How did he become a pope? And we're going to answer it right now in the following chapter. So let's go to the following chapter. Let me bring myself here. And let me remind you of our 3 rules. Let me go back. So 3 rules. You are going to listen to a text. Listen carefully, because I'm going to ask you some questions later. Number 2, while you are listening, if you don't understand the word, write it for me in the chat. I'm going to explain it to you. Number 3, go down, click that like button, and we can start. Okay, so let's go here. I will count on you guys to like the video. So let's listen to next chapter, The White Smoke Rose. What does that mean? Let's discover.
Chapter 3. The day white smoke rose. It was a cold day in Rome. March 13th, 2013. The sky was gray. The people stood waiting. All eyes were on the chimney. The world held its breath. Would it be white? Would it be black? Then it came. White smoke. The crowd began to cheer. A new pope had been chosen. But who? Inside the Sistine Chapel, the cardinals had voted. Again and again. And finally, they agreed. A quiet man from Argentina, a Jesuit, a man who had never wanted power, but the church needed something new, and they said his name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio. Many people had never heard of him.
So just to explain to you the smoke thing that you heard in the beginning. When a pope, and you maybe, by the way, maybe we will see this very recently. I don't know how long it will take, but another pope needs to be chosen. So we are going to see this. So basically, a pope is elected. Basically, like people vote for him or chose him, but not anyone. It's like cardinals, like very high people in the church. If they don't agree on someone, you will see black smoke like this. But if they do agree on someone, like they did with Jorge, who became later Pope Francis, white smoke will come out. So white smoke means a new pope was chosen. Black smoke, no new pope was chosen. So basically, that's how it goes.
But soon, they would never forget him. The crowd waited in the cold.
Chimney, sorry.
The bell.
Chimney, Pamela, is this. A chimney is this. The thing where the smoke comes out in houses, right? So the chimney is where the smoke exits. That's what a chimney is. This one, like this one here. That's a chimney. But no, not this one. All right, this one.
Bells rang. The balcony doors opened. Then a man in white stepped out. He looked simple, calm, tired, but gentle. He raised his hand, and then he did something no pope had done before. He bowed. He said, "Brothers and sisters, good evening." His voice was soft, his face peaceful, and then he asked for something rare. "Before I bless you, I ask you to pray for me." Silence. Then thousands bowed their heads. He had chosen a name, Francis. Not a usual name for a pope, but it meant something. Saint Francis of Assisi was a man of peace, a man of the poor, a man who loved animals, nature, and the simple life. That choice said everything. This new pope wanted a church that walks with the people, not above them, with them. The world began to learn more about this man. He had lived in a small apartment, cooked his own meals, took the bus to work, lived near the poor. He had visited people in hospitals, in prisons, in the streets, and now he was Pope. He didn't want gold rings or rich robes. He wanted kindness, mercy, simplicity. People began to call him something special, the people's Pope. Some were surprised. Can a man like this really lead the church? But others saw something powerful, not in his size, not in his voice, but in his heart.
And Pamela, by the way, and for everybody, one of the things I personally liked about this man, I'm going to show you his pictures again and again today, is that he was he defended the Palestinian cause. He was a man who believed that the Palestinians were oppressed and that they should be given their rights. And I really appreciated that. So it doesn't take someone to be of your same religion to support something that is very obviously right, which is like the Palestinian cause, and condemn something that is very clearly wrong, which is like the colonialism. So this man was absolutely a very brave person, right? He was a very brave person, and that's why we have a video about him, and that's why we have a live stream about him today.
He wasn't loud, but he was clear. He wasn't perfect, but he was honest. He wasn't a ruler, he was a shepherd. And for many, he gave hope. Hope that faith could still mean love. Hope that leaders could still be humble. Hope that change was possible. That day, March 13th, 2013, something shifted. It wasn't just a new pope. It was a new feeling. A feeling that the church could open its arms again. That it could listen, help, heal. And it started with a simple man who bowed his head and whispered, "Pray for me."
This is so interesting, by the way. The last sentence is so interesting because normally it's people who ask the Pope to pray for them. But this time we have a Pope who asks people to pray for him. All right? So you understand that the guy was absolutely very humble, like Pamela said. He was a very down to earth, we can say also in English, down to earth man. I'm going to write these words for you. We can say someone is very modest or very humble or down to earth. These are all expressions that mean the same thing, which is someone who is like very humble, basically, right? So these are the words that we can use in English. We can say Pope Francis is very modest. Pope Francis was very humble. Pope Francis was down to earth. Down to earth. Let's see if you were listening now with these true or false questions. First one. All right. Again, I'm showing like the answer right now. It won't show. Question number one. Let's say the Pope was chosen in summer. I don't remember if this one was clear or was mentioned. I don't remember. And I'm the teacher here. What a shame. By the way, how was he chosen? While you answer this one, while you write for me T or F, T for true, F for false, how was he chosen? What did people wait for? What did they have to see? What did they have to see from the chapel, from the church? What did they have to see? It's something that Pamela asks me about. False. Patricia says this is false. Let's check. It was March. So basically, it was absolutely not summer. What did they need to see in order to know that a new pope was chosen? What did they have to see? They had to see something, right? They had to see something. What was that thing? You guys were not listening then. What were you doing? What were you doing? They had to see something to know. All right, absolutely. They had to see white smoke. All right, and they saw the white smoke. Pope Francis looked calm and gentle. I think the answer for this one is quite clear. Pope Francis looked calm and gentle. Of course, we are no longer listening, so let me remove this one. And let me go back to my cozy corner in the screen. I'm gonna reveal it then. All right, it was true. He was very peaceful and very simple. he asked people to pray for him. But normally we said that, well, it's the Pope who prays for people. Normally it's the Pope who prays for people. So did this guy ask people to pray for him though he was the Pope? How does that work? True. Pamela, there is no A. So I would say I would take that as a true. Before blessing, he asked that. Exactly. And it was he, by the way, he was the first Pope to ask people to pray for him instead of the other way around. He lived in a rich or he lived a rich royal life. He lived a rich since he was from Argentina. True. Are you guys mocking me now? I like to know half of many people he helped. Does he have money to the poor? If you don't know it, then it's very too. I like to know how half of many. I'm not sure how many people he helped. Matamoros. I'm not sure how many people he helped, but he helped a lot of people, right? He helps a lot of people. I'm not sure exactly how much, but I did this research once, and he helped people with $200,000. You know how much is $200,000? That's almost a quarter $1,000,000, like 1/4 of $1,000,000. So he had money, of course, from donations and stuff, but he donates all that money. Yes, he lived very simply. You guys are correct. What made people cheer? Fireworks, white smoke, church bell. I love the fireworks one. I wish. What made people cheer? I like the fireworks one. It's absolutely hilarious. No, one more zero, Mr. Matamoris. One more zero. It's $200,000. That's $200,000, and it's this is how much he donated to the poor, according to one research I have done. This is just one donation, by the way. One of his donation. This is not all of his. This is one donation. One time he donated $200 million, or $200,000. That's 1/4 $1,000,000. Amy too. Fireworks. All right, you. I wish. Exact. It's nothing, but that's one time. That's one time. Let me recheck again. But at least he is donating. Come on, man. Come on. How much did I'm gonna ask Google? Pope Francis donate. Let's see. Yeah, so his last donation, this was his last time he donated, he gave $200,000. And by the way, he gave it to prisoners because we have seen him in the text donating to prisoners. So it was white smoke here for this question. What did Pope Francis do first? So let me take this question to my friend ChatGPT. Let me check. Of course, we are all learning here, but I think any amount of money that you can donate is good. All right, let's see according to ChatGPT, because ChatGPT will look the internet, not just the last, because that was, from what I've seen, that was his last act. His last donation was $200,000 to prisoners. That's good. I really like that he always looks at prisoners, because prisoners, like, how much money he donated to prisoners? $200,000. All right, it's yes, he bowed. Wonderful. But a very good memory. Very good memory. What name did he choose? As a pope, he chose a new name. I don't like talked beautiful back. It's not true. I don't think I understand your idea. I don't like. Talked beautiful. Back. It's not true. But it was true, man. The guy was a very humble man. As I said before, one of the things that made me talk about him was his humanitarian or his support for humanitarian causes. At least he talked about them. A lot of people are freaking silent, man. They are silent. They don't even talk. He talked. He spoke. For example, about the Palestinian cause. He said, hey, those people are oppressed. Hello, hello. Forkan, hello. How are you? Um, no. There is no number. So ChatGPT tells me, I'm good. I'm from Turkey. Wonderful. We have a lot of people from Turkey here. So maybe you can make some new friends here. So welcome. Is this your first time watching our live stream? Because unfortunately, you came quite late. All right. I'm going to move to one last question. Yes, which is language. All right. So now what I want you guys to do, let me see if I'm blocking the view. Yes, I am blocking the view. So let me do like this. Is it still clear? Yes, it is still clear. Be absolutely Pamela, Francis. I want you to read this paragraph and I want you to find the mistakes that are in this paragraph. And I want you to correct the mistakes that are in this paragraph. So I'm going to repeat. I want you to read this paragraph. I want you then to find the mistakes that are in this paragraph. And then I want you to correct the mistakes that are in this paragraph. Can you do that for me, guys? Yeah, listen. All right, so he donated $500,000, $500,000 in 2019, $300,000. I don't know which year. So he donated a lot of his money, like throughout the years, man. So you gotta give him that, man. So if you find any mistake in the text that you have in front of you now, can you please write it for me in the chat? He joined. Wonderful. One mistake is that he joined, not he joined, because we are talking about the past here, right? We are talking about the past, so it should be joined. So this one we should add ed. I'm sorry, I'm just writing with my pad, so I'm sorry for that. The Jesuits, because he wanted, wonderful, wanted ed, another ed here. Ed, all right, to live a different life. He gave up money and dream. Because he's sick, he go to hospital. He wanted to live. Yes, sure. Nice. So if you find any mistake here in this paragraph, he is sick. Good. For Khan, you did half the work. All right. Because we are talking about the past. This man is already dead. He died. This is the past. Exactly. So we need to say he was sick. But I like that you notice that there is no verb. Every sentence in English should have a subject, a verb, right? So here there is no verb. We will include the verb to be, but it should be in the past. Was. Sorry for my handwriting. Let me try to connect my mouse, and then maybe things will be better. All right. Yes. So here was. All right. Did you find any other mistake? He gave up money and no. Dream there is a noun. Very good for Khan and Partizia. Absolutely. We shouldn't say we go. We should say he went. So Pamela here it means his dream. All right, his dream or his dreams. The doctor removes part of his lung, but he didn't stop his study and teach. All right, interesting. He went. Very good, Pamela. You noticed that as well. People are of X. Hello. People from X. Hello. Is there any chance we can communicate with you guys? Remove that. But this is the past again for Khan. This is the past. All this story happened in the past. Exactly, Patricia. It's removed. Very good. Very good. They removed parts of his lung, but he didn't stop. What did he do? Removed. Absolutely, Pamela. Very good job. Studied. Very good. Very good. That's the way we write it. So for studied, we are not going to just add ed here. We need to add to remove I and say I, E, D. And teached. Very good. The verb teach is an irregular verb in English. The past of teach is taught with a, taught, like this. And he always listening. For and taught. No, Pamela. Okay, Pamela, for the verb that you wrote, that the past of think. Let me write them for you in the chat. Think, thought, but teach, taught. So all right. So this is how we conjugate these two verbs, Pamela, in the past. Think, thought, teach, taught. Is listening. Again, for Khan, you have an issue with the past, man. You don't like the past. Can you conjugate that in the past? For the last one, the verb listen, I can accept two things. I can accept listened, or I can accept the past form of this, which is was listening. I'm gonna favor last one, was listening. Then he became a priest and then a bishop. I think that was that for it. All right. So last question that I want to end today. Do you think helping others can teach more than reading books? Why or why not? What do you think about this? But teacher, it used always model, but we are talking about a habit for Khan. Very good answer. But we are talking about a habit in the past. He had this habit in the past. Because, for example, in the past, I was always listening to music. Now I don't. So always, it can mean a habit now, a habit that I do today. For example, today, every day, or always, I go to the gym always. Today or now, I go to the gym always. This is a habit now. But I can always say, in the past, I would always go with my friends to the park after school. Am I still in school? Of course not. But I can still use always in the past. All right. So a habit can be in the present or in the past. What do you guys think about this one? Let me color it so that you can like see the one. Do you think that helping others is or can teach? This is the key word here, teach, more than reading books. So if we compare helping others to reading books, which one is more valuable? Which one is more helpful? Why or why not? Of course, you need to justify here. We justify in this house. You understand me? We justify in this house. Furkan, do you understand my remark about the previous one, about always? Which one would you think is important, or which one do you think can teach us more? I read the book, I learn something, or I help. What do you think? Furkan, hello. Did you understand what I said? No. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna repeat. The word always can mean something because you said you use the present because you believe that always is something related to the present. But always it can be related to the present or to the past. I'm gonna give you the examples here so that you can understand them better. All right. Meanwhile, guys, think about this question that I have just asked you. Which one do you think teaches us more? Reading books, helping people. So let me give you two sentences. I always wake up early. I was little, I would always go to the park after school. Can you please tell me if this happened in the past or in the present? When did these two actions happen? In the past or in the present? Both are important. But if I ask you to only choose one, Patricia, which one would you prefer? So, I always wake up early. When I was little, past. So one is the present. For example, I always wake up early. That's the present. I'm talking about now. This is a habit I have now. I will use the present. But the second one, I'm talking about when I was little. Of course, this is the past. I'm just answering this, which is that always is related to the present, not always. Always can be related to the past or it can be related to the present. It can be related to both, all right? In the first case, we have always, but it is related to now. This is a habit I have now. Now, I always wake up early. And this one, I would always go to the park. All right, let me give you another one with the he is always watching TV. Or let me give you a better one. He is always on his phone. This is when. This is habit in the present. And we used, if you notice here, if you notice, we use is always. Is always. This is the one you asked about. Or when I was a kid, I was always making trouble. This is a habit, but it's not in the present, it's in the past. And still we use always. So always is not just related to the present, it can be related to the past as well. It can be used with the past. So here was, but here is, right? This is what I wanted to get to explain to you. I hope the idea is clear. All right, perfect. So what do you guys think? Which one is more valuable? Helping people, like which one we can learn from it more? He does every day. Exactly, Pamela. We can say he does every day, always, or he used to do. I would go here. So he is always on his phone. This is present. When I was a kid, I was always making trouble. All righty, guys. So I think that's that for today. I think I guess you guys run out of battery today, so I ran out of battery as well. I ran out of energy, so it was an amazing 1 hour, almost 1 hour and a half live stream. Thank you so much, guys. Please don't forget to check our channel. Maybe you will like what we are offering on the channel. Don't forget to click that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. I hope we have convinced you to join our family. Thank you so much for watching again. Have an amazing and blessed weekend. All right, let me see before I go. Yes, it is true. In fact, people and time are the greatest teachers. And with this beautiful lesson from Pamela, we can end now the live stream. Geez, thank you so much. And please, we are live streaming also on Tuesday, because I don't see a lot of you guys on Tuesday. So on Tuesday and Friday, we are live. Thank you so much. See you on Tuesday.